that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty.
And that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish.
We remember this great speech. We remember the man who saved the Union. But history often hides its darkest secrets, right behind its brightest moments. The air in Washington, D.C. on the night of April 14th, 1865 was filled with a strange, deceptive calm. Inside Ford's Theater, the laughter of the crowd masked a truth that would soon tear the nation apart. America's heart was about to stop. The performance was in its third act, and the theater's excitement was at its peak. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the stage, enjoying the climax of the comedy. But for John Parker, the man responsible for the president's safety, it was just another tedious evening. But the steps he took were not towards the president's door. No. Next door, at the Star Saloon, he could hear the sound of laughter, the clinking of glasses. It was perhaps the most irresponsible thirst in history, and it was burning his throat. After the incident, John Parker finds himself under investigation for neglect of duty. But the man sitting across from him was no ordinary police sergeant. He was a military investigator, sent directly from the War Department.
John Frederick Parker. The War Department is handling this case now because you failed.
I just went out for a breath of fresh air. Just for a moment.
You really thought you could get away with it, didn't you?
According to the witness, the subject was seen ordering a drink at the bar around 10 p.m.
So, let's try this again. That night, were you really alone?
It was a mechanical answer, as if memorized. It flowed from his mouth without a trace of genuine thought. After the interrogation, Parker was charged with neglect of duty, a logical next step, of course.
I haven't
But
seen
then,
a hand like this in ages.
something strange happens.
Don't get too confident.
A few months
Parker.
later, all charges
Got the
against
devil's
him
luck tonight.
are dismissed without explanation. Even his official report on his whereabouts that night, it vanishes from history as if by magic.
Oops, clumsy me.
So,
looks like your precious
what on
apples took
earth was going on? The first hypothesis is the simplest one. It suggests that everything was just the colossal mistake of one single, pathetic policeman, John Parker. His service record, in fact, was filled with instances of misconduct. This theory argues that it was just bad luck, that the worst case of negligence in history just happened to occur on that particular night. But the second hypothesis asks a much more chilling question. What if it was all part of the plan? The assassin, John Wilkes Booth, knew Ford's Theater like the back of his hand. Is it possible that he knew the guard would be gone at that exact time on that exact night? that someone intentionally placed Parker at that post, and then intentionally lured him away. The final, invisible piece of a grand conspiracy to eliminate Lincoln. That piece might have been John Parker himself.
And that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Oh, a pathetic drunkard or a cunning conspirator. History sometimes leaves behind the smallest of mysteries, in the shadow of the greatest tragedies. This single, unanswered question, born from one empty chair. What do you think? Become another investigator on this case by leaving your sharp deductions in the comments. If you wish to continue uncovering the truths hidden within history with us, please open the next X-File with a subscription and a like. This was the Chronos Files.